Welcome to our new edition of Advancio Tech Talk. Today I'm excited to have all of you join us as we're going to discuss green transition and the key to a sustainable future. So for that, today I'm delighted to introduce our guest, a dedicated advocate for renewable energy and sustainable development, the founder and CEO of VECKTA, Gareth Evans. So Gareth brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table today about the challenges around the key to a sustainable future. So thank you, Gareth, for being with us today. And I will let you start, and if you can tell us more about your company, VECKTA.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here. Just in terms of a quick intro, Gareth Evans, locally based here in San Diego. For those that are here, please reach out. Always cool to connect and build the local network. Originally from England, and now a bit of a global citizen, having lived and traveled all around the world. And so my specialty has been supporting commercial industrial businesses to achieve their unique business objectives. And that ultimately led to the formation of VECKTA. Having traveled all around the world, I got to see the impacts of not having access to reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy. And we knew that we had to do something to resolve that. And so VECKTA is the energy transition platform that facilitates business leaders around the world being able to design their energy transition roadmap and then deploy solutions in a really seamless way.
Well, thank you, Gareth. And I know that, our audience would be also interesting to hear the story around your logo, because I know the logo of VECKTA actually represents VECKTA's mission. So can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, a bit of thought went into this, and some people ask about it, some people gloss over it, but overwhelmingly people like the name VECKTA. It sounds a bit techy, it looks a bit techy, and it actually comes from the word vector, which means to provide magnitude, direction, and scale. And so we're bringing that to the energy industry. Our mission is to simplify and accelerate the energy transition. And the logo, the V for VECKTA, is a downward arrow for out with the old. Let's challenge the limits and disrupt the status quo. The A, up arrow, is in with the new. And we've got a green E, sustainable, and the 3 lines for the capital E are our 3 core values: challenge limits, adapt purposefully, and empower co-creation.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, the story around your logo that basically tell us more about your mission. So my very first question for you today regarding the topic of the sustainable future, I would say, what are the main challenges faced in initiating sustainable projects today?
Yeah, I've got a huge amount of empathy for business leaders, actually, because energy has, it's this magical thing that's generated somewhere. We receive it. We don't really think much about it. We turn our businesses on, our lights on. We go home, we charge our cars, whatever people do. Electricity shows up typically when we need it at a reasonable price. And we've never really ever had to worry about it. But this system that's been built has been developed over the last 100 years. And now infrastructure is aging. It's becoming less reliable. It's becoming more expensive to maintain. With supply chain disruptions, fuel prices have changed. So we've all felt it personally, but imagine scaling our local utility bills out to business utility bills, which amount to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And so costs are rising, outages are increasing. We're seeing over $150 billion of lost economic activity for businesses as a result of power outages across the US alone. And so you can see that this isn't a small issue, it's huge. And then combine that with the fact that businesses are now expected by their consumers, by the capital markets, by their stakeholders, by even their employees to be more sustainable and have a game plan for dealing with that. So there's lots of competing needs, there's a lot of pressure points. And I'd say the biggest challenge is business leaders, because they've never had to think about this, it's just, where do I start? Who do I turn to? What's possible? Where do I begin? And it's a complex issue, but it's also a huge opportunity for those that really embrace it and see it as such.
So yeah, I'm hearing here that yes, there are some blockers maybe for decision maker, but I do think that VECKTA can assist decision maker in understanding the financial benefits and the long-term cost saving of renewable energy project.
Yeah, that's right. And so we think about these opportunities in three core phases. Where should I be thinking about deploying solutions? What should I be doing? And then who should I be doing it with? So we've built our product to really support business leaders to understand and baseline, where am I today? How much energy am I using? Where am I using it? What is it costing me? What's my emission profile? And then what is their desired internal objective? Is it to reduce costs? Is it to reduce emissions? Is it to increase resilience because they're a critical infrastructure asset? And so they set their priorities and their business case objectives. And then we look at their, if they've got multiple assets or even thousands of assets around the world, we're able to very quickly screen, prioritize, and help them understand where they get the greatest return on investment for an energy project. And what we specialize in is something we call a behind-the-meter on-site energy solution. Some people call them microgrids. And what these are is where we generate and store energy right at the business location. So instead of now being a passive consumer buying energy from the grid and from a utility provider, we're able to generate it right on our own site, store the energy, use it when we need it, have the grid as a backup if we need it, or also being able to buy energy when it's cheap on the grid or at its cleanest, and then use our own energy when it's most expensive. And the benefits and the technologies that we can consider are solar, wind, gas, diesel, electric vehicles, hydrogen fuel cells. So we are the independent solution agnostic platform that supports our customers to prioritize their sites, greatest return on investment, and then actually configure the optimal business case. And then we've also built a marketplace where they can then competitively, transparently, and confidently then source these solutions from the leading suppliers in the market. I'd say, one of the biggest challenges for buyers today is there's a very significant information asymmetry. So the supply side of the market, the people selling their widgets and services, they know a huge amount about the industry. The buyers do not. And so knowing what to ask of the market in the right language, in the right way, with the right level of specificity, with the right contract terms, these are all challenging for people who've never done it before. So we're able to step them through that process and ensure they're speaking to the right suppliers in the market, getting the most competitive bids, and then being able to compare them apples to apples to ensure that they're making the right selection. Because you essentially have this asset for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So you want to make sure it's the right investment.
Well, thank you. That was very, very insightful. And I think, again, a lot of decision maker today, they can feel more confident with your solution that, a lot of the barriers they may have, can be, I would say, remove working with the right solution that you provide. And about that, actually, I would like to ask, can you share with us some example of how VECKTA has greatly improved the efficiency and success of renewable energy project?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think you're spot on in the sense that it's the enabling technologies that are, I'd say, the missing link in the industry today. The hardware, the actual technology, the physical solar panels, the batteries, that all exists. The constructors exist, the capital exists in the market. So how do we support customers through enabling technology, through data, through insights to be able to act with confidence? And some examples to answer your question. I'll give you a range just so you've got a bit of a cross section seeing the mega projects. So we worked for a global gold mining company. They're one of the biggest in the world. They actually just went through a recent acquisition. And so they wanted to be able to look at a gold mine site and reduce their emissions as much as possible while also maintaining their resilience. So you don't want to have a mine site lose power because it impacts production, which impacts your profitability. And we are firm believers in sustainability should not come at the expense of profitability. So this is always the key balance. You need to look at the technical and the financial attributes of the project in tandem. And so for this gold mining site, they consume 25 megawatts of energy, their peak load. And we were able to help them optimize a solution that would allow them to be a standalone microgrid It was a large solar, wind, gas generator with battery backup system, which would allow them to save energy costs by 44% versus buying it from the utility, reduce their emissions by 80%, and they get a 3-year payback on that project. So you can see very significant, very beneficial to their business. On the other end of the spectrum, a municipality up in the Pacific Northwest, they wanted to be able to create a community resilience location. So in the event of a power outage or a severe storm, where could the community come and congregate and have access to resilient, reliable energy, a roof over their heads, and to be able to be safe? And so we were able to look at a solution for them to combine solar and storage. It was a 1 megawatt hour battery that they wanted to integrate with a controller. And using our processes, they were able to reduce their capital investment costs by over 30% just by creating a competitive process, and reduce their overall energy costs by 35%. And then the last one I'll give you is a microbrewery in Northern California. They suffer many power outages, Pacific Gas and Electric, for those that don't know, because of their past issues with fires and legal challenges around that. Anytime now it gets either too hot, too windy, and they're worried about creating a wildfire as a result of their infrastructure being impacted, they switch the power off to entire communities. And so this one brewery was suffering half a dozen power outages a year, and wanted to be able to offer us all green beer, which is my favorite type of beer. So we were able to design a solar and storage solution for them. And when that's built, it'll be able to reduce their energy costs, provide 90% emission reduction, so absolutely green beer, and then be able to ride through these power outages such that they don't lose product, because the last thing you want to do is lose power when you're producing the beer. And yeah, it's a win-win all around, and great outcomes when we can all be the beneficiaries of the products that are now produced in a cleaner way, and we get to access it downstream.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are great stories. I mean, and many great projects where VECKTA help these companies make a difference. So my next question would be, what role do on-site energy solutions play in the global efforts to combat the climate change? Meanwhile, I mean, you're promoting, a sustainable future.
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. We've all relied on what we call the central grid for 100 years. And it's been incredible. And I think, like we touched on before, it's almost magical. I don't think people realize the complexity that's involved in us all receiving the energy we do get when we need it. But as we electrify everything, and we are becoming extremely, energy is now the lifeblood of everything we do. Our economies, our businesses, our households shut down without it. And so we do not want to be relying on infrastructure that's 30, 50, 70, 100 years old. It's becoming less reliable. And with that, the costs are going up. And so the key is, how do we create this more central systems are easier to design and build initially, but they've got many points of failure, single points of failure. And they are less reliable, less agile, and they're not able to adapt to our changing needs in the market. And so now we need more flexible, adaptable infrastructure. And we believe in what's called a 4D energy future. So the Ds are more distributed, decarbonized, deregulated, and digitalized. So this is the opportunity in the future, is how do we use the digital progression, as well as the fact that the cost for these the likes of solar and storage have come down over 80% in the last 10 years. So they're now extremely cost competitive. So by building lots of smaller assets at business locations, at our residences, they're able to talk to each other, share energy when they need it, transact energy, turn off, turn on, store energy when you don't need it, save it for when you do. We now all then become prosumers of energy versus passive consumers. And so this is the future. How do we all take control of our own energy future, provide that resilience, provide that sustainable outcome, but also not at the cost of increased rates? We want to be able to reduce people's energy costs while also being cleaner and greener.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I mean, I'm hearing that you have already been able to address a lot of the challenges today. And so now my question would be, what exciting developments can we anticipate from VECKTA? Because it also sounds like there is still a lot more to do moving forward.
Yeah, this is a really exciting product in the sense that and business model that we can take it lots of different ways. You know, our customer needs are adapting and changing all the time. The opportunities are massive for our customers who embrace this. And so I'd say the latest developments have been creating a SaaS platform access for our customers who have multiple sites. This is really important. You know, we really pride ourselves that kill bad projects early and often. You know, it's not good for anyone if we're pursuing bad projects. And so having that independent, agnostic approach to this and always thinking about what is the best outcome for our customer. So that platform access allows them to come in, ingest all their site information, prioritize their sites, configure the sites, and then use our marketplace for free, essentially. And the marketplace is really important because that's where you really save significant capital costs. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions for our customers is these things are expensive. And I'd say, you know, there are capital products in the market, and we've got developers in our marketplace who will actually finance these systems, build them, operate them, and just sell you energy back at less than what you pay the utility today. So there's lots of creative ways to develop these projects. And so then the marketplace infrastructure can go in lots of different ways. We're really supporting customers to engage with the right suppliers for the right projects. And so we're bringing on new suppliers, new markets, new regions, new locations, new technology types all the time. So that's what's super exciting. And the suppliers really love it as well, because they're now getting access to viable, bankable projects where they just get to focus on winning the opportunity and then developing it versus doing all the sales, the marketing, the outreach, the free consulting, only then to have indecision and inaction from the customer. So yeah, lots of different ways we can take it. The energy transition is extremely broad. On-site energy is the focus today, but energy efficiency, virtual power purchase agreements, renewable energy credits, all these things feed into a really holistic game plan. And so the vision is we all use Uber for our ride share. We use Amazon to buy products. We use Expedia to book holidays. VECKTA will be the platform that businesses around the world think and turn to for their energy needs, whether they're ready to buy something or whether they need to figure out what it is that they want to buy.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. Well, you know, thank you very much for all this knowledge and experience that you share with us today. And I think for a lot of people in the audience and decision maker, I'm pretty sure they have heard that a lot of solutions are out there, and your company is a big part of that. So thank you, Gareth, for joining us today for the talk. Before we wrap up, I would like also the audience to know where they can find more information about VECKTA.
Yeah, appreciate it. I just closed by actually saying, you know, we talked about our core values at the start, and it's all about co-creation. You know, the energy transition is complex, it's massive. No one can figure this out on their own. We need lots of solutions, lots of skills, lots of capabilities. So I'd like to thank you and the Advancio team for really supporting us to develop this product. It's an absolute pleasure working with you and your team. Absolutely incredible talent. And that's really helping internally co-create our product to then ultimately co-create a marketplace that will facilitate greater outcomes for everyone. So it's a super exciting time for those looking for work in this industry. There is a massive talent shortage, both on an energy side as well as a technology development side. So yeah, please reach out, whether you're a customer who's thinking about these challenges or you're looking for work in this industry. And you can find us at VECKTA.com, VECKTA.com. And myself, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn and Twitter. So Gareth Evans, and yeah, hunt me down and reach out. And I'm always keen to meet more people and hang out.
Yeah, the excitement, and I mean it's we're also pleased to share with you, and supporting all the project coming, because again, it's a very exciting to work on the solution for a sustainable future. So again, thank you very much, Gareth, and thank you to everyone for watching us today. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So thank you, and see you in a month for a new discussion of Advancio Tech Talk. Thank you, everyone.